What happens when people are actually showing interest but they are still not buying? This is factor number one. This training is called What is Wrong with Your Marketing? We've looked at different factors. I said we're going to share 5 factors. The first one was about dream clients, the number of dream clients that you have. The second one, we looked at market demand. How much demand is there for your product? The third one, we looked at awareness. How many people actually know about the product or service? In the last lesson, that was factor number 4, lesson number 4, we looked at a situation where people do know about your product or service, but they are not showing interest. What causes that? What are some of the remedies? In this factor, which is factor number 5, we're looking at a situation where people actually do show interest, but they are still not buying. This is called a conversion problem. So how do you know you have a conversion problem? If you are selling online, you might have a lot of traffic to your website, but there are no sales. If you've got a shop, a lot of people are walking in, but they are walking out without buying anything. Or maybe they are calling to say, how much is this thing, but they're still not buying. Okay, then you have a conversion problem. What causes that? Let's look at this now. The first one is similar to the factor in the previous lesson, the wrong audience. You are talking to people who, they might show interest. In this case, this one is different. In this case, they are actually showing interest. But they're still the wrong people because for one reason or another, they are not ready to buy. Okay? If they're not ready to buy, there's another problem. Maybe you need to follow up. We'll talk about that next. Or it could be that they can't afford it. So here's a classic example. You might be selling something that is really beautiful, such that when people see the advert, they are interested. So they are responding. But once they know more about it, they see the price point, they say they can't afford. So they've shown interest, but they can't afford. Still, they are the wrong audience. So you see that it's very important to pick your audience very well. This is a problem that a lot of entrepreneurs face. I've also faced it, where you feel you want to help a certain group of people with your product or your service, but they just can't afford it, or they're not able or willing to pay. So you need to talk to the right people. That's factor number 1. Another issue is also similar to what we talked about, trust. If someone has seen you for the first time, maybe your advert was good enough, they showed interest, they're interested, but they are still showing some reluctance to buy. What you need to do, you need to understand that there's a buying circle. Not everyone is at the point of being ready to buy when they see your message. So what you need to do is to build trust and to follow up. So you need to keep in touch with them, need to constantly communicate with these people. How can you do that? You can do things like SMS marketing. Maybe the first time they got in touch with you, they were calling. You could start sending them SMSs with tips or maybe with some latest information. I noticed something when I went to Mr. Price. I was buying something from there. So instead of giving me my receipt, printing out my receipt, they gave me this touch screen. They said, would you like to receive your receipt via email? Why were they doing that? They wanted me to type in my email so that they can keep in touch. So you need to create a system where you can capture details of people who show interest so that you can follow up. If you've read this book, maybe you've already read it, maybe you haven't. There's a whole chapter on following up. We call it lead nurturing. That's just some marketing jargon. It just means following up on people who have shown interest, but they haven't yet bought. Because you know that maybe at the time that they saw the advert, they were not ready to buy, or maybe they didn't understand the product, or maybe they need to build trust. They need to get to know you more. So you need to create a system of following up. There are different ways of following up. You can use SMS. I already used that example. If you're using social media marketing, you can use chatbots. I've used chatbots before. You can use email. Others use email. I've also used email before. Others use even things like WhatsApp groups, Facebook groups. It's about gathering the people who have shown interest so that you build that relationship. When they're ready to buy, they'll buy. Okay, so you need to follow up. Another thing that you can do is what is called risk reversal. Sometimes someone is interested in buying, they come in. If there's just one big offer, they might still have some reluctance, like what if this thing is not good enough? I always like to use the example of Chikanda. When you go to the ladies who sell chikanda, they immediately say jongo. They'll give you a small piece, to taste. Why are they doing that? They want to reassure you that that product tastes good. So what kind of sampling can you do? Risk reversal is about taking steps that enable people to gain trust, to feel comfortable to buy from you. There's this marketing guru, his name is Jay Abraham. I quote him quite a lot. He's very experienced in marketing. He says every time there's a transaction between two people, one of or both of them are taking a risk. What if this thing doesn't work? What if it's not as good as they say it is? What if it doesn't last as long? So you need to understand that there's a worry about risk, and you need to do risk reversal. One of the easiest things you can do is sampling. Get them to sample, get them to try it out in one way or another, okay? So like what I'm doing right now, this is sampling. This is a free course. You're not paying anything for it. Why am I giving it for free? It's a sample. It's a sample of all the other work that I do. It's a sample from my books. It's a sample from my consultancy. It's a sample from my training and coaching. So if you're a business consultant, you are listening to this. How can you sample your product? Try it out. You'll see that it actually works. So in conclusion, factor number 5 is conversion. When people show interest but they're still not buying, what do you need to do? You need to go back and look at these people you're talking to. Are they really, really the right audience? They are showing interest, but are they the right audience? Maybe you need to target better. Maybe you need to follow up. You need more patience. People give up. The first time they talk to someone, they show interest, but they don't buy. I'm sure you've done this before, or you've experienced it as a customer. You show interest, but the person you call, you say, how much is this thing? Maybe you get distracted, life gets in the way. The person never gets back to you. If they did follow up enough, maybe you would have bought. The same thing with your customers. Others, something maybe just keeping them busy. They want to buy. If you keep in touch, they would buy. So you need to follow up. Okay. You also need to take time to build trust. Certain products require trust, especially service business and consultancy business. You need to build trust. Now that you've watched up to the end, I can tell you that there's a bonus lesson. Bonus lesson is coming up. We're going to look at factor number 6, which I didn't advertise. Thank you so much for watching this lesson. I urge you to subscribe if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, Susan Mwenda Mlongoti YouTube channel. Check out also the other lessons. If you know someone who can find this information helpful, please share this lesson with them. I'm trying to reach as many people as possible. I'll see you in the bonus lesson.